cash. Bust a bus. Yeah. It's Bobby. Let's go.
Hey everyone, so long time no talk, I guess. I feel like every time I make a YouTube video I'm always like apologizing for where I've been or what I've been doing, but honestly I've just been really enjoying life, enjoying college, and I have been super busy. For those of you who are new to my channel, you probably came here because I was competing on Team Ninja Warrior College Madness for TCU, which was amazing to say the least. It was such a great experience. I honestly don't know how that happened. It just seems so surreal, and to say that I've been on 2 TV shows this year is just crazy. I flew to Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, oh my gosh, in March, and I filmed for a TV show called Battle Frog, and I also represented TCU when I went there, which was amazing. It aired in June, and then I flew out in August to go to Los Angeles to film with the American Ninja Warrior crew, which was also amazing. And then that aired in November, which honestly I just can't even say enough good things about it. I'm really hoping that I can do it next year too, because I just think that it was so amazing and it was really fun to meet people, and I don't know, I guess I never really saw myself like being on these TV shows. When I was younger, I always saw myself being on Broadway or being an actor in a TV show, but I never thought that I would be like on a TV show for like fitness and everything, because that's not how my whole life has been. And that's kind of what I want to talk to you guys about, is fitness and how I got into fitness, and really just my story. I mean, of course, like, I look at other people's stories and I'm like, wow, they like recovered from this eating disorder, or wow, like they were overweight and now they're like doing something really healthy with their life. And personally, I have been really blessed to not have had those intense struggles, I guess I should say. But at the same time, I feel like I have come so far and I have progressed from the point that I started at, which personally, like, I am really proud of. And I don't want this video to be like, oh, look at me, look how far I've come, like, look at how much work I've done, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is like, I want this to serve as perhaps motivation or inspiration for someone who is lacking those things and needs a reason to go and make a change in their life. Go and make a change, whether it be fitness or work or I don't know. But I personally love watching like videos about like how people got started into fitness, how people did this or this, and like I really love learning about people's successes and how they reach that point, and it gives me a lot of motivation to go and find out my own success, if that makes any sense. I don't know if it does. So basically what served as my inspiration for this was in one of my classes we had to write about our food story. Basically what our diet was like before and how we transitioned into the diet we have currently. And so I just got to thinking back when I was in high school and when I was younger and everything, because my diet has changed significantly and since then, for the better, for sure. After high school, I really did not work out at all. I mean, I went to competitive cheer practice in the evenings, like 2 or 3 times a week, and then we'd have competitions, and then I had a cheer class during school every day, and I'd go to that, but honestly we wouldn't do anything. Like, we would run through our routines. Sometimes they would make us run, but it was never weightlifting, never anything like that. Like, I had not touched a weight. I mean, there were weights in my house, but like I wasn't about to go do that. I started actually doing the Kayla Itsinas workouts. If y'all know who that is, she's like really famous, like bikini body guide, Australian, super adorable girl. I loved it. Because I was seeing results and I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm so tiny, like I'm gonna get a thigh gap. Like I wasn't really doing it for the right reasons. Like I wasn't doing it because like because I wanted to be healthy. I was doing it because I wanted to be tiny. I wanted to, you know, look like all these girls who had a thigh gap, who were like itty bitty and so like skinny, and I just wanted to be like them basically. I wanted to have the lines on my abs. I wanted all of it. But I wasn't doing it. I was doing it because of that, not because of being healthy or bettering myself or my mentality, attitude, anything like that. So I did it. I finished out the 12 weeks. I did all the cardio. And I mean, it's no wonder why I was so tiny, because I basically was just only doing cardio. I mean, those workouts like are great for beginners, and I really like that I started out doing that, but then I realized that's not the look I wanted to go for. I was on Instagram one day and I was looking through like the explore page. I guess it was like the popular page back then or something. And I came across a post, a Nikki Blackadder post, and this was like towards the end of my junior year. And I was like, oh my gosh, like who's this? And I was like, I saw her transformation picture from when she was not lifting to when she was lifting, and I was like, whoa. Like I had no idea that you could transform your body so significantly just, you know, by lifting weights and proper nutrition and all that. And I was so blown away by that. And I was like, that's it, like that's what I'm doing. And I literally went like full on like research into like bodybuilding, and I found all these people. I found like Nikki and Christian and like Christian Guzman and Amanda Bucci and Emily Hayden and like Marie Wold and like all these people, Heidi Summers, and I was like, wow, like this is so cool. And I was just blown away by it. And I had a membership to the YMCA, and I was like, let's do it. Like, and I thought that I was doing so good, but like looking back on the workouts that I used to do, I was like, I really didn't know what I was doing. I would do like a full body workout every single day, and I wouldn't really do that much weight. You know, I didn't really know what I was doing. And of course my mom was like, oh my gosh, like don't hurt yourself and all that. But then finally I kind of like figured it out, and I started tracking my macros. I downloaded MyFitnessPal onto my phone and everything, and that's when I decided nutrition was gonna be it's a bigger part of lifting than I ever realized before. When they say you can't work off a bad diet, it's true in most cases. I feel like there are those few that can just eat whatever they want and they still look super shredded, don't understand it. But, you know, I really struggled with nutrition because I was so picky with my foods, and I didn't really want to eat healthy. There was no like incentive, I guess, for me to, but now since like this whole lifting thing, nutrition was a big part of it. I was like, okay, like, you know, take it step by step. And I used to have this whole like drawer in my room full of candy and chips, and I would just like hide it, and I would like eat it throughout the day. I would like sneak it into my lunch at school. I would just eat it all the time, and it was so bad because I was just hiding all this terrible food, and I would just eat it and eat it and eat it. And I mean, in no way was I like large or anything, but I was very self-conscious about my stomach. I mean, it wasn't even like that big, but it was just like, you know, you're in high school and you're self-conscious about like every single thing. That's how I was about my stomach. And so I really wanted to make a change, and I threw all that away. I started my Fitness Pal. Didn't really know what I was doing with macros or literally anything like that. I was just like, this sounds good. Maybe I'll just, eat this many carbs a day and this many fat, this many protein. I mean, I knew like protein, I was like, okay, like I weigh 115 pounds, I'm gonna eat 115 grams of protein. But I mean, I was like super strict with it at first. I didn't eat fruit because I was like, oh, that's too many carbs. But doing more research into it as it went along, I realized I'm definitely doing it wrong. I need to continue to fuel my body with the proper nutrients, otherwise it's not going to perform the way I want. So during the summer going into my senior year is when I kind of really figured it out, and it was kind of funny because at the time I had a boyfriend and he was not into lifting at all. He played football, and they drill you so much in football, it just makes it not fun. So I understand like where he was coming from, but it got to the point where I felt like I was working out and like talking about nutrition and all that like in spite of him, because he seemed so like against it, and I was like, well, then I'm gonna be like all for it. And so that's like exactly what I did. And people would tell me all the time, like, you look fine, like, why are you working out, like, why do you feel the need to do this and all this stuff. But it wasn't for anyone else, it was for me, because it made me feel good. I really liked the challenge, and it was something that I could do all on my own. I'm a very independent person, and I don't like to rely on other people for things. And so knowing that I could go in and lift myself and it would just be me, and I would be the only one accountable for anything that happened in the gym, was just so refreshing. And I didn't have to wait on a coach to tell me what to do. I didn't have to wait for someone else to finish tumbling, or I didn't have to be like on a team. Like, I mean, I really like being on a team, but sometimes it was hard for me because I would be pulling my own weight and everything, but then some people wouldn't be, and I would get frustrated because I was like, why aren't you doing this? Like, why don't you want to put 110% into this? Like, when I do things, I give it literally everything I have. I focus on it. I get very focused on things, and I tend to tune everything else out and just focus on that one thing, which can be bad sometimes because there are many things I want to do in my life. I love fitness, but I am in school, and school is definitely my first priority. So sometimes it's hard for me to, I guess, focus just on school and have lifting as like a side thing, because I do get very like, oh my gosh, like lifting, the rec, blah blah blah, like, so sometimes that's hard. But anyways, last semester I started working at the rec, and I was just like a weight room attendant, and it was really fun. I got to meet so many people. I just love being in the rec. Like, I have classes in the rec, I work in the rec, and I work out there. Like, it's probably one of my most favorite places ever to be, and I just love the atmosphere. I was really excited about that. And then I went on that show, and it was really cool to be like there with a camera crew and meeting all these cool people, and to be on a team with the other people, Cody, Matthew, and Frank, and it was a great experience. And then I finished out that semester, and throughout the summer I decided I was going to cut, because I had originally wanted to do a show, but then I decided maybe it wasn't such a good idea. I wasn't totally like in the know of what to do, and it just wasn't the right time for me to compete. I didn't feel like it was a good time. So I did like a cut, kind of to know if this was something for me, something I could handle in the future. So did that. That was cool. Got super lean. It was really fun to be that shredded. And then this semester I have just been bulking and lifting, and I finally hit 225 for one on squat, and I was really pumped about that. It's just been really great, and I got promoted to manager of the weight room this semester at the TCU Rec, and so I'm hoping to get my personal training certification soon so I can, help people out that are here, or like if people like email me like on my emmacbfitness email, then I'm like more qualified to help them. Not that I don't know what I'm talking about, but to have that credential to back me up when I'm talking about things, I feel like people would be more comfortable with that. So it's not just like, oh yeah, I just know it because I know it. But like having that be like, I know it because like I'm a certified like personal trainer. Fitness doesn't have to be something that's super intense or takes over your life. It doesn't have to be something that's, you can only do fitness if that's your whole life. And I think people see these fitness models and people on Instagram and think like, oh, I can never be like that, because people like that are extreme. That's their whole life. That's their job, is fitness. That's all they do. They eat because they eat like very healthy, and they have to stay lean for their job. And Heidi Summers, Buff Bunny, was talking about this in one of her videos. She was like, I really like bulking, and she eats a lot of food, but she still has to stay lean because like if photo shoots come up or something like that, she has to be ready for that. So for the average person, something like that is not sustainable, I feel like, because their job probably doesn't have anything to do with fitness, and that's totally fine. And I just want people to know that fitness doesn't have to be like an extreme thing. Like, yeah, like I make it a somewhat like intense thing. It's because I really enjoy it, and it's something that I love. And for people who don't necessarily like love it and they're not like totally into it, like that's fine. Like, going to the gym, running on a treadmill, or going to the gym doing a couple things, like even that is better than doing nothing. And anybody can do fitness. It's not something that has to be super intense, and you don't have to, like, just because you do fitness doesn't mean you have to step on stage to do a bikini show. Like, not everyone is built for that. Some people are built for powerlifting, some people are built for CrossFit, some people are built for bikini shows, but some people maybe more built for physique competitions or different categories of it. And I feel like a lot of people think that they need that recognition to say, oh, my fitness journey was successful because I stepped on stage and I got a trophy. But that's not really true. Like, you don't need that validation. And if you need that validation, then why are you lifting? Is it for you, or is it for something else? And I guess that's why some people need to reevaluate that. Like, I personally want to step on stage someday for me, and I love the structure and I love the challenge. I am a very goal-oriented person, and I think that I work the best with a goal in mind, and I work most efficiently that way. And stepping on stage, getting a trophy, not getting a trophy does not serve as validation of how hard I would have worked to get up to that point. I know that I have worked so hard to get to the point that I'm at, and I'm happy with how my body looks, no matter if I'm super shredded or if I'm not. And it's really hard these days to have body acceptance because of all the fitness models and physique people there are out on Instagram. But not everyone is built the same, and you have to take the time to figure out what works for you, what doesn't, and what you enjoy. Like, if you don't enjoy lifting, don't do it. If you don't enjoy rock climbing, then don't do it. It's just like, do things that like benefit your body, that help you, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, because you love it. And I think that's what I really want to portray in this video, is that I do lifting because I love it. And I told you, like, it's the story of how I got into it. And I think I really want, what I want for people is to find their happiness, whether it be lifting or math, like my brother, or something else, like food, or I don't know, I'm looking at my desk of things to say, but I love hearing about people's passions and how passionate they are about things. And you know, when someone has the same passion as you, it's really cool to hear their stories and everything. And so I guess that's why I wanted to share my story with you guys, because I think it's cool to listen to other people's passions and just the amount of emotion that comes out when, you know, people are passionate about things. So that's it for today. I'm hoping to film a workout video for you guys soon. I know I've been busy, but I'll be better. Thanks, guys. Bye.